Hey. This is Battleborn Bets. We guide you through your football survivor pool all NFL season long in 12 minutes or less still. Yes, I'm sitting in some sort of shaded structure as the sun is starting to finally creep over the mountain. When I was joining in the studio with John, I was still in like total darkness, but all right, we're gonna get through here. It's not about me. It's about you. That's what I always like to say. So
what is it about? It's all of us.
What's going on, Rob?
Living the dream. One entry still alive.
Yeah.
After some estimated carnage.
Yes. Viva la viva. We do obviously need to address several Lions in the room, but let's go take a look at week 4 as we know exactly what happened there. Previous to Thursday, Circa Survivor was down to 12,404 live entries after NFL Week 4, with just one apiece on the Jets and the Bengals. A total of 1,407 were eliminated in Week 4, led by the 784 on the Chargers in that loss with the Giants, 478 on Green Bay in that tie with Dallas. Yes, win. You got to win to advance. You can ask Jeff Benson about that one. I'm sure he loves telling people about that story.
With the Bugs Bunny no meme.
So let's take a quick look here, guys, at week 5 by starting off with what happened Thursday. Rob, we had that discussion with John if we were going to make a move in a pivot as the line started 3.5 in San Francisco. At one point got up to 9. Injury report was just riddled on the Niners side, and everyone said, well, of course this is the right side. We could go on and have an entire show about how disastrous a result that was and how many opportunities the Rams had. But, I mean, John, you had one entry of your 3 on there. I had 2 myself on the Rams. Personally, I would do it all over again. Straight up. It was the right side, and just shit happened, bottom line. John, you actually took a couple of bullets there. Tell us a little bit about your thoughts there and how that broke out for you with the Rams game.
Yeah, I mean, anyone that's been in this contest like we have, that's probably one of the worst losses. There was just so many missed opportunities by the Rams. The Blake Corum fumble killed them early in that game. There was also a missed field goal. Rob and I talked about that during the game that cost them. That was just a bad miss. And then obviously the Williams fumble at the end there was the nail in the coffin. But then they still came back and tied the game, which is crazy enough. Mm-hmm. And I mean, if you can't convert a 4th and 1 in the NFL, Rob and I discussed this earlier, you don't deserve to win the game. So how
do you make a call on 4th and 1 and run to the strong side? I don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, it just was a crazy finish, and Mac Jones, got knocked around like a rag doll the whole game, and they still won. So
now instead of saying he pulled a Tommy Cutlets, we're going to say he pulled a Mac Jones.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue that, and then on top of it, it's just it's one of the worst Circa losses you could probably imagine. But we'll see what the carnage is tonight when the numbers come out. But
where do you think the percentage is going to be,
guys?
Let's
go there, John. What do you think? Like, obviously, let me go ahead and add a little information here on our screen from our friends over at Survivor Atlas. I'm going to go and bring this over here so we could take a quick peek at the forecast. This is as of the 2nd of October, so it's not the most current. However, what I do wanted to take a look at is the possible projection. They're calling for 23% on the Rams. John, higher or lower than 23%?
I love how they put dead there, by the way. That's pretty funny. I'm just gonna say 20%. I think it's a little high. I don't know. Maybe I'm being incorrect in saying that, but maybe some people just don't get to push the button on Thursday. They're busy with work or whatever. But this is a different contest, so I don't know. I'll go a little lower. I'll say like 19 or 20% would be my number.
Rob, what says you?
I have to go the opposite way and say like 24 or 25. Although I do agree with John in saying that it's Thursday night game. People typically stay away from it, but I still think it's higher than the number that is presented here.
I'm going to go even higher than both of you, to the tune of maybe even 35%.
Wow. 35. Wow.
Yeah, we've got a very sharp group of people that are in this contest, and I think that they smelled blood. There's nothing else on, so of course they're going to want to watch. And what did they watch was Disaster. We all watched Disaster. I think that it's going to be 35%. I think it'll overtake the forecasted number one here of the Arizona Cardinals, and we'll get to them in the breakdown towards the latter half of our show. But I think we're looking at 35% on the Rams, so we're kind of spread out really nice. We've got a low 20, a little bit higher, and then I'm rocket ship to the moon on the Rams. We'll find out after 4 p.m. Pacific today and see exactly how it breaks out with the forecasts. So actually, let's go ahead and take a look now at thanks, Survivor Atlas. Let's go take a look at the map. Here's week number 5, guys.
Before you pull that up, I want to tell the recommendation to the guys at Survivor Atlas. Instead of putting the dead word there, they should just put a picture of a skull and bones.
Skull and bones? Okay, let's do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like dead, but the logo would be funny too.
I agree.
Like a skull and bones, like smoking a cigarette or something.
Right. I'm good with that too.
So here's the brief rundown of NFL.
Skulls and butts.
They are finished. So we're going to go ahead and just put a line here through the Rams. But let's go ahead and take a look at the others. Obviously, with Detroit at Cincinnati, they're a 10.5-point favorite, a 82% chance of victory when you correlate it to the point spread. Buffalo 8.5. Their number is actually okay. So I see what happened. The map's not as fully up to date. However, Buffalo 7.5 in most places. Circa 7.5 right now. There's a couple of 8s around town as well. As far as the Detroit lines are 10. There's a 10.5. Boyd bet 365. DraftKings 10.5. So okay, they're on the higher end as well. And then we'll take a look at Arizona, right? And so let's take a look at Arizona with a 7.5-point spread hosting Tennessee. Boy, Tennessee is just not. They're simply not doing anything relative to what we expected them to. However, 47%, gentlemen, in the pool have Arizona left.
What was that percentage? 47?
47% have them. So what I wonder is this going to be the de facto play? Is this going to be the number one selection when we look at the forecasted selections? John, I'll start with you. You think that this is going to still be the number one forecasted team when we see it spread out?
Yes, I do. Yep, right around 30% makes a lot of sense. Yep.
Rob?
I see them below the Rams.
Okay. Yeah, that was my. I thought we'll see the pivot as well. It just, I don't know. I think that's going back to my thought was I think just the Rams are going to be the one that everyone was going to
go back to that sheet. I want to see if the Rams had any future value relative to, and I guess it doesn't matter because there may be some that didn't touch that game due to the Thursday and the division angle.
Well, here you go. Week 9, they're the biggest, the second biggest. They're going to be 12 points hosting the Saints. Right? So, or you can take them week 13.
So they do have future value. So.
Oh yeah. And here, everyone's obviously, you could see the tools, and it's why I love using this site so much. Is you could sort by future value and see just exactly who is still the heaviest favorite throughout the year, and the Rams are the third choice.
Let's take it a step further though, and say, what do you think the number is on those that had 10 entries left, going all in with the Rams.
Yes. John, go ahead. You first. How many went all in with 10 picks on the Rams?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's a good question. I really don't know. I'd say pretty good amount. It's hard. It's definitely in play for sure. To me it's that's always been silly. You have that much equity in the contest to throw it all on one team is crazy. But I kind of like what Rob's team does with their selections. They spread it out, and even if you do get chopped down on one team, it's not a total destruction.
Yeah. Rob, I'm gonna say 8 went all in on the Rams.
You stole my number. I think it's 8 also.
Oh, Joe.
But I think there's a bigger issue. I think the Circa contest crowd is so ahead of the curve, and with a large amount of hubris that they think, you know what, I'm smarter than everybody else. I'm just going to go all in on the Rams and survive. And if you did that, look where you are now, skull and bones.
You're not surviving. No.
Right.
So, and everyone's seeing, obviously, if you're watching the show, how much I use this and use it as a tool for us here. With the Atlas account, you could save and load maps, and there's something that I've been doing where you could reload and remix your paths, have a better idea in case things wanted to pivot. Addition to this is what we're doing. We're storing these projections, and the EV calculators are really, really helpful. So it keeps all my work saved in one spot, and it allows me to configure the map so I can actually play out and see where any one of my remaining picks go. So no need to redo the setup each visit. And then the pick, of course, is the biggest one. This is the forecasting. This is definitely allowing me to sharpen my instincts at least, with some, very minimal effort. So thanks, guys. Once again. All right. The thing that I'd like to cover now, let's, Rob, start off with you here. We talked a little bit about ownership percentage, the popular picks versus some contrarian angles. Top 5 teams most likely to win outright. And give me your reasoning here. And let's talk about some injuries, betting lines. Is there a game script that you like to follow? What do you see here for your...
Detroit has to be number 1.
Okay.
There are holiday considerations for them. But are you really going to take the Green Bay Detroit game for Thanksgiving? Not likely.
Mm-mm.
Or at least feel really good about it. In Minnesota, Christmas holiday, again, division game. I think even though they have future value, I think a lot of people, including myself, are going to be on that game. For me, it's Detroit, Indy, Buffalo, Philly, and Arizona. I don't have Arizona as a selection, but they still will be extremely heavily owned and should win.
So Cards, Colts, you said Lions, Vikings,
Cards, Colts, Lions, no, Buffalo, and Philly,
and Bills. So no Vikings.
No Vikings.
Yeah, this does make sense because when you lay it out, what we want to do is offer up the teams that you feel are the most confident that can go and come out with a victory in week number 5. So there's Rob's picks there at the bottom. You could follow him at Dick and Val's Hot Dogs. But the one selection that you're going to make, we'll have that coming up soon. Mr. Howard, same question here for you. The 5 teams most likely to win outright.
Yeah, it's pretty much aligned with what Rob said. Cardinals, Colts, Lions, I think will be 3rd. There's definitely going to be some teams on Buffalo, 4th. But my 5th selection was kind of a toss-up between Seattle and Minnesota. I think they're going to be both owned at a low percentage. The Minnesota game's kind of interesting, but it's an international game and dangerous. So it'll be low owned.
Not to mention the injuries that Minnesota has on their offensive line.
Yeah, so Minnesota, Seattle on that 5th selection. That's just highly speculative, but may or may not be accurate. But I think,
and some weeks there might not be 5 good options. Let's be realistic here. Maybe there's 4 that we feel good about, and then the 5th.
The Rams would have been in there. but
Well,
they decided to, not
Sean
cooperate.
McVay decided to jam us up here for that.
Yep.
Just for the record, I would pick the Rams today once again. I would not have changed my mind in any way.
I mean,
still think
I guess that's
I
the
still think they're
solid.
the right side.
That's the solace we could take. You know, you play that game 10 times, the Rams win that game 9 times.
Yeah, maybe more.
Maybe more.
I have to agree with you all. It'd be silly not to consider the Lions as a top selection for a win outright. The others is where I start to get a little queasy on. I've had a good turn on Kansas City. I feel that they've righted their ship. I don't think that they lose Monday night in Jacksonville in any way. And the other that, if you wanted to really, go out on a limb, and for those of you that have all the entries in the world with some chance to spread, I don't care what anyone says. There's no way that the Giants are losing in New Orleans. I think New Orleans is one of the worst franchises in any sport right now. I think the Giants are significantly better.
Are they playing the Arch Manning sweepstakes?
They already are. It's in their head. They already know that they are. And I think that the Giants defense, let's come back to this next week. I think the Giants defense outscores the Saints offense. So I'll put that in and go ahead and highlight that out. You want to go ahead and scrape me and aggregate me. That's what I'm going to go ahead and say. That's going to be my hill. So guys, now, I mean, we take a look at who we like, but however, we got to come up with our pick, right? John, no other way to, swallow the bitter pill much more than this. You've got one left, one more bullet. Rob, you've had one bullet, so it's the same boat that you've been in all season long. Rob, let's start off with you with your pick for week number 5. Who's it going to be?
I mean, I'm 50-50 right now in Indianapolis and Detroit.
Okay.
I'm undecided. It's probably going to be a last second call for me.
Okay. If I had to tell you that Bowers is playing for the Raiders, does that change your opinion in any way?
No,
you're factoring in that already. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
John, yourself?
Lions.
Okay.
Only reason being, like we mentioned earlier, I'm not concerned about the holidays weeks with Detroit. This is a good spot to take them against a bad team. I don't care if it's on the road. The Lions are just a better team, and I kind of like Indianapolis in another spot later in the season. So that's my logic behind that selection. But not to say that the Colts are a bad pick this week.
Yeah, good point. Actually,
where do you like Indy? Just for
look at this.
Week 8 against the Titans at 80% or higher probably win probability.
Yeah, there it is, right there. You nailed it. So that's actually a fair point, and not many other choices. You ain't taking Philly. I mean, we'll talk about that on Thanksgiving.
I was almost there with Philly, but they have way too much future value, and you have to plan a path for future weeks. You can't just live week to week.
No. For me, I've Baltimore, Philadelphia. Those picks don't exist for me. They have to exist for the holidays. So I just don't even consider them on a weekly basis. It's just the way I'm going to look at it. So for me, I did have 8 picks. 2 were on the Rams. And it's kind of way it's kind of forecasted. We'll take 2 on the Lions. We'll take 2 on the Colts. 2 on the Cardinals. I just don't think that Tennessee's in the same boat as the Saints. I just think that the team is, I don't know. There's already commentary and some weird interviews that are coming out of Tennessee Titans camp. So I'm not impressed with what they've done, this year at all. They just don't seem to be ready to be playing football.
I think they peaked week 1 when they had a chance to beat Denver in week 1. I think based on the results, that seems to have been their peak.
No, yeah, they're not. They're not showing me anything that's impressive in any way. So those will be my picks, and I'm really not too concerned about it. I feel that those are feel pretty confident there. So it's John's going to be going with the Lions. Rob, you're split between Lions and Colts. You'll let me know before the 4 p.m. Pacific deadline, obviously, and we'll go with that. And I've got 2 on the Lions, 2 on the Cards, and 2 on the Colts. Hey, drop your Survivor pick in the comments down below. I'd like to see exactly how you are all handling your entries this year to wherever, whether it's on Circa or if it's someplace else. Maybe you're in the Westgate pool. That's a pretty expensive one there as well. Or maybe you're just in your own, Splash, or maybe you're in your own, favorite pool. However it is, hope you enjoyed today's show. I think that the end of this is where we find ourselves running our way into Thanksgiving and beyond. That's the goal here, no matter how many picks we have. So that's exactly what I was hoping to find, and it's been good. It's been good. I don't think that we have any other final thoughts. Just from an injury perspective, we know exactly how this entire week was going to play itself out. So that's really it. Guys, hope you have yourselves a really fantastic weekend. Wins, I'm not going to be watching again.
Avoid the carnage. Are you going away again? Is that going to be your modus operandi?
Go away and
I don't want anything to do with watching. You guys just let me know how it plays itself out.
That seems to work best for you.
I think that's just the only way I want to do it. I don't think I want to do it any other way. So great, guys. Great. Enjoy it. I'll see you guys all next week. Have yourselves a great time. Thanks, everybody. Take care.